Good afternoon. My name is Tiago Teixeira, and today I would like to talk to you about sexual education and how we as a society, as a culture, and as a university can come together to tackle this smear that has been ingrained in our society for decades, if not centuries. To begin my discussion, I would like to talk about the aspect of time. Time by itself doesn't seem like much of a impactful thing. It comes and goes, we don't even realize it's there, and at times it happens in the blink of an eye. The aspect of time that I would like to focus in on particularly is the number 73, referring to seconds. 73 seconds is very fast. You don't realize it, but it comes and goes in the blink of an eye. In 73 seconds, you can do many things, such as run a lap on a track. You can tie your shoes. You can even go to your kitchen and make yourself a PB&J sandwich. But to sexual assault victims, 73 seconds can seem like almost a lifetime. As reported by RAINN, an organization that leads studies in sexual assaults in the workplace and in university settings, reported that an American gets sexually assaulted every 73 seconds, equating to a total of almost 1,200 Americans per day. They also found that every 9 minutes, one of those reported cases ends up being a child, which comes to a total of 163 children per day, victims of sexual assaulted. All those that are reported, there are cases that aren't reported. Meanwhile, 5 out of every 1,000 perpetrators will end up in the prison system, which comes to a rate of 0.005 arrest rate. These numbers might jump off the screen as intimidating, as scary, as a hole in our system, and I'm here to tell you that there is a true hole in the system, and how we as bystanders, as students, as visionaries in our generation, what we can do to, in pandemic terms, flatten the curve of the sexual assault system. The system as a whole starts very young, around K, and leads up to 12 in the modernized school system. We're taught sexual education in college, but with a twist. In the K system, you're taught things at a very novice level, things as gender identity, and as you get into the higher levels, when children begin to hit puberty, you're taught more about the hormonal aspects of sexual education. You're taught what's going on with your body, you're taught who you are, you're taught what other people are feeling, how their hormones are reacting. And as you shift to an older demographic, 14 to 18 in the high school setting, you're taught more about the sexual composition of what the education title encompasses. You're taught how things happen, you're taught why to do this, why you do that. When you get to college, the things shift. The pendulum goes drastically one way. In college, you're specifically taught not how to feel, not who to love, not what you identify as, but how to protect yourself as an individual to things such as sexual assault and sexual misconduct. You're taught how to take steps to avoid being sexually assaulted, and you're taught how to see those and notice things that might be a red flag for someone who is currently being sexually assaulted. The dynamics shifts drastically, and you can see that. Even before becoming an enrolled student, you're put into courses online sometimes by the university to educate yourself on sexual assault, sexual misconduct, alcohol training, which in terms can lead to sexual assault. And this is a very big problem. It's a hole in the system. We're given this image that it will never happen to me, but at times that isn't factually backed. Sexual assault can happen to anybody, whether it be female, male, and anybody who identifies as anything else. Sexual assault is a very big thing in the university setting. It entails statistically as one of the higher points of sexual assault. When the 50% of college sexual assaults happen between the earlier months of the fall semester, varying between August to November, that is when it's at its highest rate. And students typically experience sexual assault stats at the highest rates between their first and second semesters of college. Perpetrators see this as a time of peak uneducation. Students aren't as involved, they don't understand the scene as much, thus they can be taken advantage of at a more frequent rate. 21% of transgender, genderqueer, non-conforming college students have been sexually assaulted, compared to the non-transgender females and 4% of non-transgender males. This is something that doesn't particularly prefer how you identify. It is a victimist, sadistic manner, and it's something that a lot of people in society overlook. They don't take precedent to it, they don't see it as a priority, but I'm here to tell you that it truly is. It's a hole in our system. One of the biggest holes is the lack of self-reporting. When people suffer sexual assaults, they tend to not want to report or tell anybody for many reasons. Those reasons being personal matter, they feel as though it'll truly have implications with what they believe. A lot of the cases in terms of religion and all that stuff. Fear of reprisal, not being important to the situation, didn't want the perpetrator to get any kind of trouble with law, and believed that nothing could be done in terms of the law. These are all misconceptions that are ingrained into us by shows on TV, shows on streaming services, personal experiences, and this is adding to the whole of what is the sexual assault scene. America's sex education is plateaued in the past 20 years, and these are just some of the reasons why. Going back to the specification of sexual assault, it does not favor female or men. Men and those of the LGBTQ community can also be victims of sexual assault. Things statistically aren't in their favor, but it is also something that should be taken highly seriously by those in the LGBTQ community and men who, again, have the perceived image that it will never happen to me. Things that you can do to provide those who have been sexually assaulted with help are by educating yourself. You can pinpoint the signs, you can find out what to do, the next steps, the next professional steps. You being able to provide any kind of input to those who have been sexually assaulted will drastically make them feel better. It'll make them feel as though they're not alone in this. It'll make them feel like they have someone to go to. You need to be able to listen. You need to be able to show empathy, compassion for those who have been sexually assaulted, whether they are close to you or not. If they are conforming to you, it means that you have some bear on the situation and they truly feel as though they can come to you with this. You need to provide the appropriate resources, provide them with space, time to heal and conform in their own ways, and seek professional help when they are ready. You need to know that this is not a race. When they feel ready to seek help, they can do that. Going off a testimonial, I have a friend who had been sexually assaulted. She conformed to me, and at the time I wasn't as educated on the fact, so I didn't handle the situation as properly as I should have. And she suffers from mental health because of those traumatics that have happened to her. And me growing up, being close, I realized that I need to do my part just as much as they need to do their part in healing themselves. I need to be there for them. I need to provide them with any kind of assistance they need and as a friend, that would be my part in my job. In conclusion, I just wanted to shed light on the problem, and I wanted to inform all of you that we need to come together and educate ourselves. Education is key in terms of ending and stopping sexual assault. We need to be more vigilant. We need to put legislation in place that protects those who are sexually assaulted. And if we pioneer a new wave of students and visionaries that want to put an end to this, we can do that as a society and as an organizational fan base. Thank you for your time. I would like to just wish you safe endeavors during this virus. I understand things are tough and this whole online thing is happening, but I just hope you are doing well, and I just wish you all the blessings. Thank you.